I wanted to ask you about something that surprised me is your use and belief in analytics and data in football.
Mm.
I'll be honest, when I think of Jeff Monken, Army, hard-nosed football, I don't really think of analytics. I wouldn't think that you'd be an analytics guy, but you really are, and you've embraced it, and you really have put resources into understanding the data and when to and being aggressive on offense and when you're punting and when you're going for it on fourth down. What's your philosophy around that? Like, how have you really embraced the analytics and the book and the data and all that support?
I think analytics fits our offensive system and our program
Mm-hmm.
maybe better than anybody else in the country. I, I, I think analytics were built
Mm-hmm.
for programs like ours. They're created for programs. They exist.
Mm-hmm.
It's math.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and there's no like ifs, ands, or buts for math. It's the truth.
Yeah.
And now that doesn't mean that on 4th and 1 we're going to make it every time. We still got to execute the play.
Mm-hmm.
But these analytics that we get and that everybody gets, we're not getting different analytics than a team that throws the ball all the time. We're not getting different analytics than Ryan Day gets at Ohio State or Dan Lanning gets at Oregon. They're getting the same analytics. It's built around the kicking game and
Mm-hmm.
offensive third downs and how do you win the football game based on the decisions that you make.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I want to control games on offense. I think it's much easier to control a game on offense than to rely on the defense to stop them and get a 3-and-out all the time.
Yeah.
So the analytics really help us make decisions throughout the game
Mm-hmm.
that put us in position to win. And I think when math is involved, and I'm a PE major, so I'm not a math guy, but if it's built around the game and how do we win the game,
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I'm going to use the analytics in the first quarter, and if I don't like it, I'm not going to use it the rest of the game, or I'm just going to pick the spots where I'm going to use it as a guide.
Yeah.
I'm going to use the analytics and the math that comes with that. Where have we been successful? Where have our opponents been successful in those parts of the field, in those situations? And so for a team that I don't think our chances are going to be better if we try to come up with pass protections and try to block edge rushers who are going to be playing in the NFL 6 months later with guys who weren't recruited at the same level or maybe have a similar skill set. Like I said, we got talented guys. We had the Joe Moore Award offensive line. They were tough as nails.
Yeah.
But we did it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So how do I create ways for us to move the sticks? Down series success rate. When you get a new set of downs, it's 1st and 10. Do you get another 1st and 10 or do you score a touchdown on that set of downs?
Mm-hmm.
How do I do that most effectively? The analytics helps us do that.
Mm-hmm.
So being at 2nd and 5 gives us a lot better chance to convert a 1st down than being 2nd and 8.
Mm-hmm.
So call plays to get ourselves in a manageable 3rd down or manageable 4th down position.
Mm-hmm.
And if going for it gives us a better chance to win the game on the long play than punting at the moment. My gut might be, oh God, we got to punt here. And what happens if we don't get the 1st down?
Mm-hmm.
You understand that it's built for us to win the football game.
What if you do get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gone for it on 4th and 1 3 times from our own 10-yard line since we started using the analytics.
Mm-hmm.
We made it twice and didn't get it the one time. And the one time we didn't was the opening game of the 2019 season against Rice. Opening drive, we had it 4th and 1 from our own 10 going this way from down there. They missed a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
So worked out.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always work out, but
Mm-hmm.
I believe in it, and we've really embraced it, and I think if you fully embrace it and use it as our analytics company, Championship Analytics, gives us the book and says, hey, we believe this is the best chance for you to win, then I'm going to follow it.
Yeah. One of the things you really opened my eyes to about analytics throughout the last couple of years talking to you about it is the book, and for all the fans watching, the book is really this kind of booklet. I'd call it a Bible you get each week that tells you what to do in certain down and distance. It's sorted by field position, by score, all that kind of stuff. You said something, it's math, and if you follow it sometimes and then don't follow it, you kind of screw up the math.
That's right.
Because it's meant to be followed all the time. And as soon as you say no to one situation, now all the analytics would be different. Right?
That's exactly right.
So it's just kind of crazy how you either got to be in it or not be in it.
Well, Craig Bowl and I talked about that. Craig Bowl and I squared off against each other when I was at Georgia Southern. He was at North Dakota State. He's a remarkable football coach. Was a coach at Wyoming. Had great success. He's now the director of the American Football Coaches Association, doing a great job with that. He loves this game, and he's coached a long time. And I tried to get him to. I said, look, this analytics thing is really good, and I think it would fit, your philosophy and your style. And he told me, he said, Monk, I think you either got to be all in on that stuff or not. And he goes, you're all in, and he goes, I'm not sure I could be. But he won a lot of games anyway. But I think it really has contributed to our success. And so
the current state of college football, there's a lot of talk around portal, NIL. I think this program is maybe not as affected by NIL in the portal as much as others, but in some senses you still are, because of recruiting and because of losing guys in the portal that can transfer and things like that. What's your take on the current state of college football? Do you feel like college football may be losing its soul a little bit, losing its purpose?
I don't believe that to be true. I think there's a lot of discouragement out there about the current state of college football, and I think there's some guardrails that need to be put in place because it is a little bit of a free-for-all right now, and we all recognize that. Administrators, coaches, fans, and even the athletes realize that this is a bit of a free-for-all, and we've got to rein this in a little bit. I am in favor of athletes being able to benefit from their own name, image, and likeness. It's theirs. They should be able to benefit from it. I don't have any problem with players being able to earn money based on their name, image, and likeness, and to represent a university. Where I think we have to be wise is to make sure that we've got some parity, that it doesn't become like the golden rule says, he who has the gold makes the rules. And this is a business, and we are in the entertainment business, and we're in the business of trying to make money for a number of reasons, because it helps all of us represent this institution and be the front porch for our institutions, which to me is a great purpose for athletics, and a great source of pride for universities, and I think it will remain that way. The transfer portal and being able to just trade schools and go from one school and collect money and go to another school and collect money, that's where I think we misrepresent the institutions that are on our uniform. The commitment that comes with playing for a brand, and the institution making a commitment to us as coaches, to players. We owe them a commitment in return. And that doesn't mean a guy's got to stay at the same school for 4 years. But to literally be able to play at one school in the fall, transfer to another school in the spring, don't like it there, go to another school in the fall.
Have one bad spring practice and leave again.
Go to another, A guy could play 5 years of college football and
Mhm.
be at 9 different schools in
Mhm.
the current state of affairs. I don't think that's healthy because I don't think that's good for athletes.
Yeah.
I don't think that helps that particular young man or woman graduate from college, which
Mhm.
is what they're here to do.
Mhm.
Uh, we are here to play school,
Mhm.
and that's the purpose of universities.
Yeah.
And we give each of these young men and women an opportunity to earn an education, a degree, and some of them might never have had that opportunity
Mhm.
without athletics. And so I think it's important that we don't lose sight of that.
Yeah.
But also to have a plan for the rest of our sports
Mhm.
so that as we have for decades, created opportunities for young people to play sports at the college level.
Mhm.
And my fear is what's happening is the opportunities for these athletes, they're going to decrease. There might be more scholarships,
Yeah.
but fewer opportunities for people to play and participate. And
Mhm.
what athletics does to teach life skills,
Yeah.
leadership, overcoming adversity, being a part of a team, um, appreciation and love for something bigger than myself.
Mhm.
There are lessons being taught on ball fields and on courts that can't be taught any other place, and I don't want to lose that. Um, so hopefully we're gonna get some guardrails
Yeah.
on this, and I believe we will because I think we all love and appreciate the purity of college athletics and what it
Mhm.
is and what it means to the universities we represent and the states that
Yeah.
follow their state universities. Um, so I think everybody's going to work hard to do that. Where that affects West Point and academies, really not a lot has changed here for us.
Mhm.
Our players have always been able to leave
Mhm.
and transfer to another school at any point before they started classes their junior year.
Mhm.
That's considered affirmation. I'm affirming the commitment that I made when I came here that I'm going to
Mhm.
finish here. They've always been able to do that. The difference is now they can leave for money.
Mhm.
They could leave for a scholarship. Now they can leave for money, and it's significant money.
Mhm.
And we lost some guys at the transfer portal,
Yeah.
and they're all really good players, and they're great kids, and I love them. And I'm happy for them and the opportunity they have. But I hate to lose somebody from our program without at least having a counter offer.
Mhm.
And we don't offer that here.
Yeah.
But our guys don't come here for money.
Mhm.
They come here for this. They come here for West Point. They come here for this education and the opportunities that they'll have following graduation to serve
Mhm.
as a United States military officer, to serve in the Army, to then have a springboard
Mhm.
into a professional career beyond the Army.
Yeah.
And so that's the value of this
Will
place.
anything change for Army with revenue sharing coming in the new House settlement, 20.5 million a year
Yeah.
schools can pay their athletes? Is it still kind of up in the air?
It will not.
It will not. Yeah.
We won't take part in the
Mhm.
in the uh, in the House settlement and revenue share. One, we're not permitted as an institution to do that. Our cadets here,
Mhm.
when they make a commitment here, they are committed to becoming Army officers, and they can't have jobs doing other things.
Yeah.
Uh, which I think that what every American citizen can be sure of
Mhm.
is that our young men and women that come here are committed to one thing, and that's serving their nation with distinction and honor.
Mhm.
And that's what they're here to do. And that's what
Yeah.
they will be educated to do, trained to do, and inspired to do,
Mhm.
is to become leaders of character to serve our nation. And so with the House settlement comes a lot of restrictions too.
Mhm.
And so if in fact we could be a part of the House settlement and revenue share, then those restrictions would be on us.
Yeah.
And it would be very difficult for us to continue to have 30 sports
Mhm.
and allow over 25% of our student body to compete in an NCAA sport.
Yeah. Good
And,
point.
and we want to do that.
Yeah. Do you ever find yourself in really difficult conversations, probably in this office with players on your team who are great players who get offered a bunch of money to go elsewhere, and you're kind of stuck in a spot because you probably know the best thing for them is to be at West Point for their whole career, right? And to get this
The
degree and
long
go to
play
the long play. But they may have $300,000 on the table, and you also know that's life
or
changing money
more.
or more. I'm sure probably a lot more for some of the
It
guys.
is more.
Yeah. That's a tough conversation to have, right? Because you also want them to do what's best for their family, but you have a little bit more wisdom than some of them too when they're in this office.
Well, my love for them,
Yeah.
and my commitment to them, my pledge to them, um, is the reason I want them to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do care for them, and I do know that with a West Point degree, that they will create a future for themselves that is uncommon. They'll have opportunities that may only come the way of a West Point graduate, and that their potential for leadership, their earning potential,
Yeah.
it's different with a West Point degree, and that's I'm not ashamed to say that or hesitant to say that. It's the truth. There are a lot of great universities out there, and these guys have opportunities to pursue educations at those places when they're coming out of high school, and certainly to transfer to those schools. It's hard because when somebody puts that amount of money in front of you and says, if you'll come play football at our school, we'll pay you this amount of money, it's very difficult to ignore. At the moment, it's life-changing money in the short term. To get them to understand that the life-changing money that you have the potential to make as a West Point graduate, and that's 20, 25 years from now, when you're the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, or you own a major professional sports franchise, or you're the state governor of state X, Y, or Z. And the opportunities for leadership, the opportunities for influence, your opportunity to serve a greater number of people. It's the long play.
Yeah.
Staying at West Point, it's really hard because we give a stipend. They have a scholarship, and we give a stipend every month. But a few $100s a month is a lot different than a few $100,000. And when sometimes you got a young man who, in their family, they've never. I mean, these guys are making money now that nobody in their family has ever made.
Yeah. I was sniffed. Yeah.
And they may never make that money again.
Yeah.
So to say this is a bad decision and you shouldn't take the money, part of me wants to stand up and shake their hand and congratulate them. But I also have made a pledge to them to help them graduate from one of the best academic institutions on the face of the planet and the leadership mecca of the world, and to have opportunities 15 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, to have themselves positioned and their family for generations to follow, to have opportunities that they wouldn't have. I still owe them that conversation and the encouragement to stay here.
Yeah.
And it's difficult. Anytime a guy leaves, it's difficult. Whether he's going in the transfer portal for money or just wants to leave because he's gotten disillusioned about the Army and maybe not wanting to pursue that. I've got an investment in them, and I care for them, and I want to help them see their way through the decision, and hopefully that's staying here. But if it's not the right decision for them, if it's not the right move, then help them with the next step.